All right, let's start talking a little bit about family bonding. Um, so growing up, right? You as a foster child, 5 years old on, you're a foster child. Things are a little bit different, right? You don't. When I was younger, okay, when I first went into foster care, I just wanted anybody. Didn't matter who. I just wanted anybody to actually, you know, quote better words, give a shit about me, put some love into me, actually care, want to be there, right? So at that age, all I wanted was somebody to be there. So at the age of 5 to about 10, I moved into, I mean, even at that point, I was probably over 20 different foster homes, bouncing back and forth, right? Um, when you move that much, you start to harden after a while, and that can make some really bad changes for the future. And I'm going to explain how that works. In the beginning, you want anybody to care. Anybody, doesn't matter. You just want somebody to put that love and that give a shit into you. And in the beginning, you're outgoing. You're almost chasing down people that are going to, care about you, love you. So those staff members at that group home that you were just in, and that, big shelter that you're just in, that's all you care about. That's it. So when you go out there, you're looking to have that interaction where that person puts that time into you. Now, unfortunately, what happens after that is you bounce out of there and you move somewhere else. When you get to this next place, you still are open arms, right? You still want that love. You still want that care. You still want that give a shit. But you get to that next place, and then it happens all over again. You wind up packing your stuff up into a bag. You move into the next place. Well, when this repeats after time after time after time, you start to harden up. You're not the same person that you were when you went in when you were 5 years old. So when later on you start to notice that people are just going to come in and go out of your life. No one's going to be there for a predetermined set amount of time. And as much as people say, yeah, I'm going to keep in touch with you, I care about you, I love you, they don't. I mean, I'm going to just call it what it is. They're not calling and checking on you. They're not making sure you're okay. Once you're out of sight, you're out of mind. Well, after a while, you start to have mental issues as far as how you start to bond with people. And it catches up with you later on, right? Because now, yeah, there's a lot of shitty people in the foster system, right? That you're really just a paycheck. But there's also good people, right? It just sucks because if you don't meet those good people that are willing to take that extra time until later, those issues that you have tend to come out later, and it comes out in a different type of way. So when you finally start getting to the point where you're 12, 13 years old and you start moving into these houses where people that are taking you out of group homes to try to make you a foster child again, and there's a difference from it. Group home tends to have a lot of people in there, a lot of kids in there with staff members. Foster house, that's somebody that wants to take you in as a part of your family. Well, here's the problem. Before you became part of that family, right, you might have had the best relationship with that person ever. But because you don't know how to fit into a family because nothing's ever worked, when you finally move into that house with that person, you change, you clam up. You tend to be in your room all the time. And when you're not in your room, you leave. Because that's what you're used to. You're not used to being close to people. So now it's a different type of relationship. These people are trying to be, loving, caring, and that type. And you don't know how to do that. And you don't know how to be part of a family. So you become standoffish. Well, you don't know how many times I went into a house and it became, hey, we really wanted to incorporate you into the family, but it just seems as if you're standoffish. When before I moved into that house, we were really cool. We were clicking on all cylinders. But once I moved in, I distanced myself immediately. I'm in my room all the time. I'm not downstairs watching TV with everyone else. I'm upstairs, watching TV by myself. And this is automatically what I'm doing myself without even knowing that I'm doing it, right? But then it goes one step further because you're not used to having these relationships with people. You're already sheltering yourself off. So you're waiting for something to happen, something bad to happen, or to say, hey, it's time to pack your stuff up into that plastic bag. You got to go to the next spot because this just isn't working out. It's happened so many times that why would this not be any different? So as you get older, you're expecting things not to work out. You're expecting to get to a house, and then when you get to that house, this isn't going to work anyway. The problem comes is when those people that took you out of that group home because they care about you get you into their house and you completely do a 180. You're not the person you were before then when y'all were chatting and y'all are laughing all the time and you love being around those people and you'd always go over to their house. And then all of a sudden, you start to be something different now. You clam up. You don't have those, and those anger issues start to come out, and you're forcing it on those people, but you don't mean to. See, what happens is after a while, psychologically, you don't know how to deal with those relationships anymore because all the people that were close to you hurt you. So because of that, you're just waiting for that next person to hurt you too. They're no different than anybody else. At least inside of yourself, inside of your head, that's how you feel. See, people don't understand that there's something that comes with that. And a lot of time what comes with that is this resentment that you built up over time for a whole bunch of people, and you're taking it out on the wrong people. You just don't know that, right? Growing up as a foster child, there's a lot of mental issues that you have to deal with, right? And those relationships with people, you go from in the beginning really wanting people to be there to towards the end and towards those longer teenage years to not trusting anybody and pushing people away anyway. So it really doesn't matter to you anymore at this point, even though it really does, because you really look up to these people, but you don't know how to show it. So the problem isn't that you can't be in a family. The problem is you don't know how to. And by this time, you're older, you're more rebellious, and people don't really have that type of time to put into it or effort to put into it because you're not that child anymore. Now you're this rebellious teenager that at the time is just tearing the family down a little bit. And if they got their own kids, hard to deal with that when you're bringing a negative influence into the house. So to anybody that I was ever a foster child to, I understand the issues that you went to now as a grown man, and I can appreciate everything they went to. But much love to all those people and everybody out there. And hopefully I explained a little bit about what it's like to grow up as a foster child and trying to have a family relationship during those times. Till the next time, this is Mac. You're watching Let's Talk TV. Till the next one. See you then.